thought I'd share this with you real fast, and the shipping time is really fast. This is from a company I buy from time to time. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. I'd like to share this with my customers or just anybody watching the channel. So this out there on my porch is a actually $68, but once all tax gets added into it, it comes up to around $74. I have one of these already. I have one of these upstairs in the retro gaming room. And the shipping time, I tell you, is really fast because it had the red dot telling me that it was still in transit, and I wasn't going to get it for a while, but I just got it just now. So these are the screens I'm going to be painting. This one I'm going to do a little different. I am going to paint this screen. Oh man, I'll tell you about it later on, but it's going to be sick. So I got one upstairs already. This is the other motorized one. I already know where I'm going to put this one at, but this screen's going to be pretty sick when I get done with it. We'll get it. I think sort of jam the door up so I can carry this thing in. I can't find anything. Hey, what's going on? Literally could not find anything in the house to jam the doorway. Oh, I have a few of these. That works. So I've had a few projection screens from this particular company right here. Quite a lot of them. I was not expecting for it to be here today because after I saw it was on the shipping told me that it was going to be delayed, but it wasn't delayed. So I got it today. I actually ordered this thing about 2 days ago, which the shipping time is always pretty good with this company. And they make them in 120 inches. They make them in 100 inches. And they make them in the 92, which I like because the 92s fit perfectly in the areas that I have them at. I don't need a big screen, I just need a screen to fit. Now, I'm considering changing this one out. Because since I can't get the floor standing motorized projection screen because they want too much money for it, I might just spend $800 and just get me an elite tension screen that I can have come up and down so I can enjoy my window light. Because I really would like to be able to enjoy that window light, to tell you the truth. But that's going to be on for another. That's going to be for another day. So come over here, and shipping was free, by the way. Shipping is free. Like I said, with some places when you buy motorized projection screens, you have to be careful because the motors could burn out, give all kinds of problems. But I've had these screens before, and I've had them for maybe a year, 2 years, and never had a problem with them. The only time I've wrecked one of these is when I added on too many layers of paint and I jammed the motor, and it takes about 10. I didn't want to do the one upstairs, so I'm thinking, okay, I got 3 on there. Hey, how you doing? But then I remembered that the last one I did, I had to go back and check the video. It was actually 10. It took 10 layers to jam a motor on a motorized projection screen. So, like I said, this is the company right here, and I've been buying from them quite a bit. I've actually bought a few of their screens. Now this one I'm going to change. The one upstairs I'm turning into a gaming screen. It's going to have a whole theme behind it. Oh, I forgot to put in that video where I've actually modded the PC, because you got to see that paint job I did on the PC. I'll put that in. I'll find it, put it in today. I forgot about that. But anyway, this one I'm going to do differently. So usually when you get motorized projection screens, you know how the outside of the screen, the border and all that is black. I'm coating mine white. And I'm putting the screen in the middle in jet black. So that's what I'm doing with mine. And then I'll put soft blue white lights or blue lights behind the back of it. Baby blue lights behind the back of it. So mine a little different. I saw a video of this projection screen that I built, where I made the entire screen. I made the border white around the screen. Not much. So I made the border white around the screen, and I had the screen basically elevated where it was actually hanging away from the wall, and the wall was done in white. Now the trick behind that is you want to paint the back of your screen white. And when the LED lights come on, they're going to ricochet off the white surface. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it's going to re-ricochet off the back of your screen that's white, and you make the border white. It's a cool trick, but it makes it like your screen's actually literally floating. This one we're going to do a motorized instead. So I'm probably going to be painting this one up today also too. So we got, like I said, I got to get these orders out of here and taking care of the customers, because we got quite a lot to do. We're going to do paint two motorized projection screens. Ones we're going to mod. We're going to mod one to make it like an apocalypse a motorized projection screen. It's been sitting there for ages, rusted out. You know what I mean? It's going to be pretty cool looking. And then we're going to do the projector to match with it. And this one, we're going to turn this one bone white and put a black screen into it. So like I said, not expensive projector. Only cost you $68 shipping all together, about 74 bucks, and shipping is free. I might get another one of these for outside. Just right there. They give you the hooks to hang it up, but we're not going to need these. I'm actually going to go over to Elite and buy their hooks. They got the big ones that come out, and that's the ones I need. I'm going to put you down for a minute so I'll pull this out. And I've had about all of them. I had tension screens. You go on my YouTube channel, I sure had tension screens. I had Elite screens. I had just about everything. So these actually do pretty well. A lot of people shy away from these because they think the motors are cheap and the motors are burnt out. Now I've had a few of these. And I've had one I had upstairs, I've had for about 1.5 years. This is a nice screen to have. It's going as usual. God has me up doing work. Good day. Any day the Lord allows me to get up and rise and rejoice and do something different is a good day. We need frog tape. We're going to paint this one today. I'm going to try to do both screens at the same time. So this is what we got set up here. This is the one right here we're going to do. This one's going to be done differently. Like I said, usually the border on these screens are black. We're going to burst that to white. And then the screen in the middle, we're going to turn that black. Then what we're going to do is when we do it, we're going to probably put that much of 1 inch away from the physical screen. So when I put the screen in, I'm going to have about a little thin black border around it. If you don't know what that looks like, I'll show you what it looks like. It's pretty sick. But this one's going to be on a motorized screen. So how big is it? That's a 92. 92s are the only ones I can fit in here. This is my first one. I'm actually going to be customizing this one next. So this one used to be a white screen that was converted to a 12. I used this one in a demonstration to be the $3,000 Dark Star 9. So we're going to convert this one into something different. So I got my projector all taped up. We're going to actually do a paint corrosion job on this to make this look like it's been aging for years. Now, for those of you who doubt my skills, wait till you see what it's going to look like. It's going to look, I do some crazy stuff. I used to mod PCs back in the day. I'm going to do that same kind of artwork on here. that I need to do on here. So this one, the reason why it's taped up like this is because I'm actually going to paint the border a kind of a steel, kind of a rusted steel. And then, and here it's going to be that nuclear green gamer paint that we're going to have in here. And then all this up here is going to be rusted like it's corrosion. I might put a nice little power unit right here, little fan system with a maybe a Molex power adapter that will allow me to be able to run PC fans or any kind of PC component without having to run into a motherboard. All this right here, I've got the tape for this to bound all this up like it's all hazard from here. And it's going to look like it's actually charging the screen. We're going to have LED lights from here and LED lights at the bottom. And right here, I'm going to have a little corrosion hanging down. That's pretty easy to do if you're using something called, what's the word for it? It's caulking. Caulking, you can use that for sculpting. So, give you a little peek on what we're going to be doing. I'm going to put that one here in the window. See, 92 will fit here in the window perfectly. And then when I want to enjoy my window light, I just roll it up. So I'm going to put it right here. And I maybe do another one outside. I would love, and right now I'm trying to figure out how much Elite wants for their outdoor screens. If they don't want much for them, I'm going to get me a 180-inch outdoor screen and connect that sucker to the side of my deck. So that way I can roll that thing down anytime I want to. I want to see how much they want for one of them. Because that'd be so much easier just for me to go in and just paint a giant screen like that and then roll it up anytime I want. And then bring it down, make it so much easier. Let me see if I can figure out where I got one of these at. But I forgot all about that screen. You got to put down PX747. That's where it comes up. PX747 black screen. No keywords that brings them up. And I put down Crystal Edge. Oops. I want to do the same thing, but I want to do it in a motorized this time. So let's see if I can find my first one. These are all the old ones. I got to go back to this one at the top. This should bring it up. Here we go. This is the one I built. I don't want to hear myself. Hear myself all day. Let me show you the screen I built. I told you I don't build everyday projection screen setups. This was my setup right here. Look at this screen right here when you look at it. The border was white. So this screen is levitating. It's hanging off the ceiling right now. So in order to get that effect, what I had to do was I had to build the screen actually bigger than the actual size of the screen. I wanted the border to be wide enough so the screen would actually look like it was like levitating. The wall was done in bone white, the border was done in bone white, and the back of the screen was done in bone white. You put the LED lights on the back of the screen, that reflects off the white wall, and it reflects from the white wall back off the back of the screen, and that causes that levitation to float. As for the cables, I had to get really heavy fishing cable. And then with the fishing cable, with the screws, they all had to be coated in white so they would match the interior, giving the screen the ability to look like it was actually levitating. Yep, and this is one of the ones I built. I built a bunch of screens, but this is one of the ones I built. I like this one the most, but I'm going to actually turn the motorized projection screen into something like this, where the motorized projection screen, where all the borders at, all that's going to be white, but the screen in the middle is going to be black. And that screen is literally hanging from the ceiling. I was using a PX747 ViewSonic projector for that setup, a 4K projector. One of the most beautiful screens I ever built. That bone white was just gorgeous. Oh man, can you imagine if the whole entire place was all done in bone white, like the floors and everything else, and that shaggy carpet that was all done in white? That screen would look beautiful in an environment like that. But yep, very easy to put together. Right, yeah, that's what I want to put downstairs right now. That's what we're going to do downstairs. We go over to steampunk. Is steampunk? Is steampunk? No. It's veggie oil. Veggie oil. Boy, that was an expensive PC to put together. Veggie oil. Steampunk. No. Sorry about that, people. No, I smell wrong. Very, very smell wrong. My spelling's not all that good, people. I spelled it wrong, I know. It needs to come up. Punk, I should put down gaming PC. That shouldn't be there. I need to put down gaming PC. Gaming PC. See, oopsie. Oh, jeez. It just brings them up a little faster. There it is. This is why I used to build gaming PCs back in the day. This is my work. Each piece was hand painted. So I had my gaming PC and then I had my server. I was all running off liquid cooling system. That's my server I built right there for gaming online. That's for modding. Oh, but we modded the freaking heck. Oh, well, I even had my Xbox 360 was modded. I pulled it out of the case, modded the whole system for liquid cooling system and everything into an Xbox 360. Because, everybody was going through the freaking burnout phase. Systems were burning out left and right. Yep, that's my setup right there. That's my old room when I first started off. That was one of the pieces that I built. I'll show you something else real quick too. Yeah, it's a long time ago, man. I don't build like that anymore. This is when you ever liquid cool an Xbox 360? I did. I actually dropped an Xbox 60 in vegetable oil to see if it would run. And it ran too. Dropped the whole system in there and it ran for 1 year without one burnout. Dropped a console, Xbox 360 running in vegetable oil. This is before I got into screen paint. I used to do mods. And you'll see when I come to the top, the tray on the top is going to say Xbox with the Xbox 360. Right there, that's a 360, soaking in vegetable oil. It lasts me 1 year. No burnouts, no problems, nothing. I could run certain games. There's certain games you couldn't run on there because bottom line is you was buffering that GPU too much and that thing would burn out on you automatically. That little click noise before it shut off on you. There's the hard drive. See how it looks rusted? That's the rusted paint job. To make something look like it's old. All right, that's my other piece right there called deep freeze. I built that out of a Tupperware container. I got tired of buying cases, so I bought a Tupperware container and I basically modded it. Turned it into a PC. And that was all made out of Tupperware. There it is right there running with no problem. Sure, you buy like 9 and 10 consoles over and over and over again, and they keep burning out on you. People got to figure out solutions on how to fix that nonsense because, they give you the coffin. You send it back to them. They fix it. They come back and burn out again on you. So people got tired of people opening them up and trying to figure out all different ways to basically, that was the Terminator. That was a PC I was building. I never did finish that PC. But it was a PC I was building for T2. A friend of mine was into like T2 Terminator. And I was building that PC for him. I never did finish that thing. But this right here, this is the construction of the system. This is how long it took to put this thing together. It was not a freaking easy PC to put together. You watch it slideshow by slideshow how much time it took me to put this thing to freak together. There's a UFO case, clear case. You can throw any 360. You can even throw an Xbox. The new systems, you can throw any of them in vegetable oil in a run. You just have to do something differently. So you're going to have to basically put a liquid cooling system on your CPU. Your CPU is going to be generating a ton of heat. A lot of people don't realize that when they were designing vegetable oil cool PCs, they were taking the fans off. Of course, you take the fans aren't going to run. But that CPU generates heat. So people were cooking their systems. So the trick to get around to the long-lasting having your system on the vegetable oil, you have to put a liquid cooling system directly on the CPU, and you have to run your radiators outside the box. And it helps if you get something like a speed, like a, what do you call it, like a speed controller, so that way you can up your RPMs on your fans. The little tricks you learn. I keep your system alive longer. But yeah, when people drop those systems in there, and you want to make sure you max out the motherboard before you drop it in, because going in there, that oil and pulling out parts is not pretty. So make sure you max out your board before you do it. But you want to make sure you always have a liquid cooling system on that CPU, because without the CPU, your system's going to heat up and you're going to cook your system. And then the one thing you have to understand that once the system is in vegetable oil, down through time, that oil will become thick like jello. Well, your case went from weighing to 30 pounds to maybe 80 pounds. They were heavy to move. When I moved, I had to move 2 of them out, and they were extremely heavy. And transport them was not easy. I had to stick these things in giant plastic containers and pad them in and pick them up that way, move them. There's somebody who likes to build. I used to do more than screen paint. Back in the day, I used to build customized PCs for people. One of the most baddest PCs I think we built, I had a friend of mine who just got back from the service, and he wanted to get into PC gaming. So we got some bulletproof glass, we got an AK-47, and we fired rounds into it, and we cut the bulletproof glass and built him a case with the rounds actually embedded in the glass. All those pipes on that system are real. There's real copper pipes. Ran all the LED lights, the wiring through customized LED lights. Had 2 fan, oh sorry about that, had 2 fan controllers on it. So I can up them RPMs. A lot of work. Had a digital display on the front of it that said steampunk. It ran across it constantly. The clock was working. Had a real working clock. Every time the PC would turn on, that would generate the power. Would power up. Ran my own coil system through. Ran through a light bulb system that lit up. All that was all custom done. All done by hand. A ton of freaking wiring. There's the system booting up, as I showed you. And there's just displaying steam. Yeah, that's what when I was PC Master Race. I was crazy PC Master at the time. I really didn't like console players at all. I didn't like them. But now things change, you know, people change. But that's how it was. I was into crazy, just everything. Yeah, here we go, doing the liquid cooling, dropping them in cases like that. But like I said, the problem with that is you got to make sure that you have a liquid cooling system, because if not, you're going to basically heat your system up and you're going to burn out your system like this. See how this is set up? That's another one I built with the Big Daddy. Now see right here where I got the liquid cooling system right there? That's connected to the CPU. That keeps it nice and cool in there. So that CPU can't heat up my case, right? Can't hit the oil. And there's it running right there. Whoop. Sorry about that, people. I'm falling over. Hold on for a minute. Let me come back here. Sorry about that. You can get a better look at it from here. My bad. There's liquid cooling system. Hard drive system had a separate cooling system on it. The hard drive system had a separate cooling system. That system was running through a fan controller. So like I said, I was always into like up in the RPMs on the fans to make them run faster. There's a custom corroded paint job. That's all done with caulking and 3 shades of color. That's all it's done with to get that look. There's PC running, but no problem. I haven't built me another machine in so long. There's another one right there. That's my other one. That's deep freeze. It all had all blue light in it. There's another one I built. This one, I built out a Tupperware dish. Because then I got to the point like, I was spending all this money for PC cases. I mean, not for PC cases, but the fish tank cases. So I wanted something different. So I went right over to, what was it? I went over to Family Dollar. And I used to buy my Tupperware containers from there. And I used to show, okay, this is what I'm showing people, tutorials on how to build your own, how to design your own form of props for your PC. So like say if you want to like, I did a PC basically looked like the entire PC was haunted. Like it had the flashing lights. That was made out of a ketchup dispenser. Like a ketchup dispenser that you get at the dollar store. I used to go to the dollar store, I used to go to Family Dollar, and I used to just pick up Tupperware items and stuff like that, and I used to turn them into crazy stuff like this. So that was made out of parts from the thrift store, and that container right here is made out of a ketchup dispenser.
Static electricity.
To make it look like the case has static electricity running through it.
Kind of look, that's what I was going for. Something rusted, something damaged, something, I don't know, like extremely insane with the case. And if you build things like this, you add.
So I had things inside of my case that basically would represent something like, and I wanted something where I had electricity running through the eel running through one side. It was pretty cool. And I wanted like the eel was actually charging up the items inside the case. I used to build my own props.
Chair back here. So basically, all in all, it's very simple to do.
And that paint job, it's easy to do. It's an easy paint job.
Thing with the acrylic paint, copper is basically the best color for it. And you want to take your screw and you want to run it back and forth with the little streak marks in it. And then you want to get some UV paint over top of it. And that will give it, and make sure that the light that you put inside of it is a black light, because it's going to give it a better reaction when it comes to UV paint. And that's basically about it. That's how you get that eerie kind of wild look to your PCs.
Yeah.
And it won't cost you much at all.
Nothing at all. Do it.
I hope you enjoyed this video demonstration. Thank you.
Cheap. Now you can do this stuff on the cheap. Make your piece look like extremely expensive when it's not. And all that's from the paint job right there. This is the wire job that I had to put in for this machine. As I was testing the machine out, bit by bit, I was showing people like how to do it, like how to wire your systems in, how to put LED light displays in, all that stuff, all kinds of cool stuff in there.
As I'm building on this machine, but this is my customized steampunk machine that I'm designing for the Steam OS operating system. I decided not to go console this year. I decided to go all out on a PC.
Yeah, I was kind of ticked off at console. That's when the Xbox decided they were going to do DRM. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm building one this year.
I'll show you guys the side of it. Right there on the side, I have
I did mineral oil. I did mineral oil, vegetable oil, and baby oil. I did all of them.
You know, electricity and
I've done them all.
right there.
Because out of curiosity, you know, I mean, everybody was dropping these things in vegetable oil. I was like, somebody was talking about mineral oil. I was like, what, you can do that? Yeah, I did all of them. Yeah, out of curiosity, just to see what I could get away with. Mineral oil is expensive, man. And I was better off just going down and getting some vegetable oil. Mineral oil is like crazy expensive, man.
Back there, when we tucking all the wires at, so I mean, all the wires went pretty well hidden. Up top here,
Nah, not putting a projector in there.
this is running a
You damage it. It's like somebody trying to drop a hard drive. You can't do that.
pumping system which connects onto my
Nah, it's not fun. Now when you got something plugged into electricity, it's not fun. But you can do it and post it on YouTube so we can all see it. That'd be fun.
lit up with some EO wire. Got a
Let's go with
right there.
Nuke It
All right.
Veggie Oil.
I got
This was all made out of Tupperware.
this steam pump. There is no optical drives on this. I mean, no optical drives.
I'm not doing that. Shoot, I know enough about working with freaking electronics that just certain things you just don't drop in water. I had somebody did a video. They dropped a hard drive to see if it would run. It didn't do well. A hard drive, like seriously, instead of hard drive was going to run.
This is what I bought.
Yeah.
This week I bought this right here
Oil.
for my i7, which is my CPU, and this is the motherboard that I chose.
Yeah, the i7 when they first came out.
All right, so you know I get around to installing it in. And we can
There it is. That thing was made completely out of Tupperware. This is how I built it. It was made out of Tupperware. The operating system, yeah, I reprogrammed the operating system. You'll see a little pirate pop up on the logo, so I redid the operating system for it. This is the PC I was showing off. I built that thing completely out of Tupperware. So this is what it took to put it together. If you got time to watch this, but this is how I took picture after picture to show how it was all out of Tupperware. Made my own case. Now I used an old piece. I used to pay for it. Nothing big. There's my tools. See these dispensers right here? These are ketchup dispensers. Mustard and ketchup dispensers. Because I want to look like there was actually nuclear rods stuck into the case. This is the paint job. This you want to use the caulking. You get two versions of caulking. Use a clear, or you can basically use the one with the it's more of a chalky paste. But that's how you start your sculpting job. These right here, these were toilet paper. They call the toilet paper. The ones you pull in the roll for your toilet paper. Because instead of paying for copper piping, I just took the toilet paper rolls and I turned that with the paint job into piping. All this rust job, all that's done by hand. There's the little nuclear symbols, all the cables, wires, all that was all custom done by hand. And those are plastic toilet paper, the rolls that you use. Turn those into, actually with the paint job, you can turn those like they've been corroding forever. Power supply, all that was custom paint job. I'm running the LED lights through now, wire the LED lights in. And that wiring. Yeah, there you go. You build your own props for your case. So all that's submerged underwater because I want a nuclear reactor in the case. Now see how the pipes look real? That's also a paint job. That's me doing the modware for my operating system. There we go. Windows XP Pirate Edition. Ah. Testing out the lighting system. See these right there, gauges? Those are the gauges that they have in stores for basically when you poke into a turkey to see if it's done or not. That's what that is. And it is all done. And that's the site I used to have for other modders to come on there, and we would basically get together and just share information back and forth on basically designing and customizing PCs. So there it is running right there.
Shooting this really cool video of my fish tank PC, which I designed.
All out of Tupperware. So I figured, why should I go out and buy it? Because you get to a point now, you do enough cases, you're like, why am I buying cases anymore? I just go get some Tupperware and just build out of a Tupperware case, and that's what I did.
Oil there, that's the word. In the oil. Here it is up on the computer. It's my hack version of Windows XP, higher edition.
Grr.
So, yeah.
Everybody like the operating system? I rewrote it.
A lot of people do fish tank PCs, but I want to do something a little different.
Even did a 360. I took a 360 and integrated it, because mind you, 360s had IBM motherboards in them. And if you came back from the era of soldering, that era where you basically had to pull out all the circuits and use breadboards and do all that soldering craziness before PCs were designed like Legos where you can snap them together, well, there was an era where basically a soldering gun and a desoldering gun was actually needed.
Another fin at the bottom. It gives it a perfect circulation.
No, you got it. I'm just showing you something. That's all. You know what I mean? I disabled that anyway. But just showing you some of the cool stuff I used to build back in the day. And I had other modders I used to hang around with. I think on my block, and I couldn't believe it because, like I said, I lived in the freaking, like, in the hood. And I couldn't believe there were programmers within my area that did crazy stuff like this all day. That's an Xbox 360 right there. Yeah, I rebuilt the Xbox 360. Because when I found out, when I popped over, like, they're using an IBM motherboard, yeah, I rebuilt their board.
Watch out, I got some really cool.
Turned it into a little computer.
In my head right now for something really freaking sick.
I'll show you the Xbox 360 mod. Oh my goodness, man. Xbox 360, man, that was a good time to be gaming. Man, there were modders all over that system. People changing their JTAGs. Come on, how many lobbies have you walked into and Left 4 Dead and see it was raining witches in there? If you got a chance to walk into a couple of those. I used to walk into those all the time. There were private lobbies that you can just go into, man. People were doing, oh, here's another one I built. That's another one I put together. But there were lobbies, man. We were modding all kinds of stuff. And here's the thing. When you do a modded lobby, there are rules. You can't mod in a live game. That's cheating. We don't do that. But you can mod in your own private server. So some of the games basically had it set up where you can have your own proxy server, or you can have your own server set up where you can actually what do you call it, dedicated servers. You can have your own dedicated server, switch your dedicated server. So if you had a dedicated server, you could bring in those people in there, you could game in there, and you could do whatever you want in there because they were all modders in there, whatever. They're in there just having fun, doing dumb stuff. But the rules are you can't go outside that and be in an area where people don't know how to do that. And do that, because that's cheating. You don't do that. That's wrong. It makes the game, that's not even fun, you know what I mean? It just takes apart so much from the game, man. But that's how it was, you know? You just stayed within your area, and you could bite friends in, like, hey, look, you want to do Left 4 Dead? We can make it rain witches. We can make the tanks dance. We can do all kinds of crazy stuff, you know? What do you want to do? We make giant gnomes, whatever you want. Or we can modify the guns in there. Okay, you want a flamethrower? You got a flamethrower. You want a minigun? You got a minigun. You want 2 Desert Eagles? You got that too. All kinds of stuff. This is the case that I built out of Tupperware. That's the second one I built. That thing turned into, and then this is the Xbox 360 that I took out of the case and rebuilt it. That's an Xbox 360. Even had a kill switch you flip up. Yep, it was all Xbox 360. Rebuilt their system.
Also with the control right, I can control how eerie the lights look on the inside.
Yeah, I actually had a switch where I can control them from black lights, where I can change them over to basically green to make it glow.
Control how bright I want it in
All right, Xbox 360 with 3 terabytes on it. I upgraded everything on it. That took forever. That was a lot of freaking wiring. Good gracious, that was so much freaking wiring on that thing. Here, I'm show you the whole entire case. Standing alone by itself. But that's another one. Under the desk, I had a server. There's my server right there. So that's my server I was using when I would go on 360 and I would basically host dedicated games. That was the Red Dragon. So all my PCs had a theme to them. But I never went into a game modded or in God mode or nothing like that. No, I wouldn't do that. You don't do that. I would just stay within our areas where we would have, and we would invite other people in. Like we did, oh man, we did Burnout Paradise. You ever play Burnout Paradise with tricycles? You ever do it with trash trucks, limousines, shopping carts? Yeah, we did all that crazy stuff. And people are like, oh my God, what's going on here? Go into the garage, select something. Is that a shopping cart? Yeah, it's a shopping cart. You want to drive a shopping cart? You do something. Shopping cart with boost. Oh man, we had so much fun in that game. But it was just all about, the end of the day, it was just about all gamers just going in, having a good time. That's what it was about. There's a system right there. That's me actually building and putting the system together. That's the wired job I had to do. So I had a cable that was integrated into the Xbox 360 that I can connect into my server. And that was for uploading software to change firmware, stuff like that, right from the door. Here's my machine. That's an Xbox 360. Is it bad or what? Custom paint job. That's all by me. I didn't like the green, so I actually changed the green. I want it to be darker and richer. Those containers that you've seen there are filled with liquid. See that kill switch on the side? Right there. There's a kill switch. See that kill switch on the side? That was the actual kill switch to turn it on. So you flipped it, hit it, and a nuke would go off. That was the actual kill switch. It had a sound effect that would go off. It sounded like an explosion. And we count down, an explosion would go off, and that system would power on. So in order to do that, you have to basically desolder and resolder your board to do it. Upgraded the RAM, everything on it. And like I said, with this, I could easily jump into someone's room undetected. You wouldn't even know I was in there because my gamer tag would change at will. And since I was using an epoxy server, I was masking my IP address. So I was never there to begin with. But I didn't do stuff like that. I would go into servers with people that were actually, that would invite me in. I get an invite first. Thank you for inviting me in. All about respect. Go in and game with them, and we would share information back and forth. Like, well, how you got your system set up? And I show them the Xbox camera, I take pictures. This is my system. Like, oh, wow, really? And they would have their system set up in cases and all kinds of stuff. So I would learn stuff from them. They would learn stuff from me. It was all about respect at the end of the day. But I would never go into a server where somebody didn't have that capability and just take advantage of them, because that's wrong. There's no challenging that. But we would bring them in on our servers just to give them that wow effect. With that Burnout Paradise, we brought this guy in from Russia, man. He was a cool dude, man. And we was in Burnout Paradise, and he was driving around with a shopping cart with boost, with the groceries in it, by the way. So yeah, we had some fun in there. We had some fun. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I used to do back in the day. I don't do it anymore. Now it's just all screen paint. I love doing screen paint now. That's my thing, screen paint. And at that time, when I was modding, designing that stuff, I wasn't even walking with God at the time. I wasn't. I was, nah, it wasn't. So I tell you, I have PC skills. Yeah, I have them. Just don't show them off like that. That's all behind me now. I don't do that anymore. Now I got to work on, I still got the paint job skills. They're still there. So that's what we're going to turn this into. We're going to turn this into a projection screen that looks like it's come from the video game Fallout. It's going to look corroded. It's going to look old. It's going to look rusted. It's going to look crazy when I get done with it. And then when we get done with that, we're going to turn that into a rusted out projector. So really rusted. Yes. So lot to do. And then we'll turn this into something really cool. We'll turn this into something cool. You know what I got to do next? I got to order me one and do me an 80s. Do like an 80s theme. An 80s theme projection screen. And pretty soon you guys will be painting them. Doing the same thing I'm doing them. Doing something different. So let me show you real quick. We got on the table. We got the LED lights here. This is the caulking that you use basically to make that sculpting, to make that little rough texture to it. These are colors that you need right here to do it. You definitely need black in there. And more LED lights, stickers, and all this stuff. That's basically about it. Once everything gets here, we'll all put it all together and we'll check it out. All right. So if you want the link, I gotta put 2 links in. But this one I gotta put a link in right here. All right, so I'll put the link in where I got this at. If you're interested, get on eBay. They do have them at 120 inches, so you can get 100 inch or 120 inches. It's up to you. You know what I mean? Which one you want? I go with the 92 because it's the only thing I can fit in here. But other than that, like I said, it's a nice screen. It works well. I painted a few of them, and I love them. All right, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. It does come with a remote control. Just let you add real quick. There's a remote control right there. So it comes with a remote control. Real easy to set up. If I were you, I would not use these right now. The ones they came with the hooks to hang it up, don't use those. Go out and just get a pair from Elite. They got a pair for like 17 or 18 bucks. It's well worth it, trust me. One of the things I don't trust sometimes, with these, like I said, it works perfectly fine. But usually the screws they give you with them, they're like butter screws. If you ever heard of butter screws, the screws are actually that tear up real quick when you hit it with the drill. They kind of chew up real fast. Yeah, because they're not made out of the real material. It's made out of this cheap material. So I don't use those at all. Just go to Amazon and just get a pair from Elite. Get the real kind. Other than that, yeah. All right, I got to go. I'll put the link in a few minutes. Thank you all for your time. I got to go, and God bless.